Stephen A., who your sources, man? Please, who your sources, man? You gotta stop yapping. You gotta stop. Can we cut? How's he do it? On one leg? And I like you, man. You actually went on, I don't know who you are. You don't know me. You can't pronounce my... I'm coming back. Just make it look like I walked away. Go, move the camera. Make it look like I walked away. There you go. Yeah. Welcome to Oddball. I'm Amin Elhassan. That over there is Charlotte Wilder recreating a certain magazine cover that we shall not speak of, involving an NBA owner that we shall not mention. Got a great show for you guys today. Watch me just steamroll right through it, Charlotte. I'm not gonna stop. No stops, no pauses. We're going right through it, okay? We're gonna do bold and spicy. Maybe this time we'll learn how to play the game. And we're also going to do Hollywood. What was it? Was it Hype Me Up? Yeah, or as Charlotte likes to call it.
Hype Me Up?
Yep. That's the one where, predictably, we pick someone and we hype them up. But before we get into all of those shenanigans, Charlotte, one of the big news stories of the week, we didn't get to in headlines earlier this week, was the New York Knicks are suing the Toronto Raptors. Suing the Toronto Raptors because a former Knicks employee who had been hired by the Toronto Raptors allegedly stole reams of information, data, video, and took it with him to Toronto. And that's the basis of the Knicks basically saying that trade secrets were divulged. And this is a very kind of interesting case because rather than complain to the NBA and have the NBA kind of adjudicate, the Knicks decided to file an actual real-life lawsuit in actual real-life court.
I mean, are we surprised? It's the Knicks. I feel like the Knicks file lawsuits as often as they play basketball. I guess my question to you is they're claiming that this employee took information and Oppo research and scouting reports and all of these things. How different are those reports from organization to organization? Like, how much good could that do the Raptors? So, like, how much of that do the Raptors already not have?
So I'm glad you asked, because this is the crux of the argument. Like, if the art is, which is what was stolen and is it materially valuable? This is the best way I can explain. The two things, and The Athletic did some great reporting on this. Fred Katz and Mike Vorkanoff of The Athletic did some incredible reporting on this. But the two specific things that seem to be mentioned prominently are the advanced scouting report of the Indiana Pacers and videos from a third-party website, proprietary software website known as Synergy. And those are two different things, and I'll get to each of them. So let me start with the scouting report. In the NBA, typically, when you're going to play a team, you have a scout that watches that team maybe 6 or 7 games before you actually play them. And that scout goes there and basically gets their play calls and their play signals. Gets an idea of, they like to run horns punch or whatever it is, right? And when they do that, they'll call this, that's the hand signal and all these different
horns punch.
I just made up one, like
it's really good. I like it.
Fist up twist, that's like it'll be like this, and then thumb up, thumb down. Like there's all different, very generic play call signals in the NBA. Floppy is a very popular one. Yeah, floppy side or whatever. So, but the point is, you got these scouts, they're watching the other team. Now, you might say, how are they watching the other team? Well, they'll go see them on the road somewhere. So let's say, let's use the Pacers as an example. We're playing the Pacers 7-8 games from now. So our advanced scout is going to go see Pacers-Bucks. He's going to go to Milwaukee. Milwaukee credentials the scout and gives him a seat, usually close to the Pacers bench, so that he can hear and see the hand signals and the calls that the head coach of the Pacers, Rick Carlisle, is doing. That advanced scout then takes these play calls, sends them back to the team. That's where the video coordinator and an assistant coach who's been assigned this particular team will sit down and go through other videos of the Pacers and attach those play calls to the video examples of the plays. So that's the stuff that they then show the coaches, and then they whittle that down, and they show that to the team, and then they whittle that down, and then they show that to the team on game day. That's the general process.
This is all sanctioned. Like the Bucks are saying, yeah, go do your thing. Everybody knows this is happening.
Everybody knows. Your advanced scouts come to your arena. The advanced scouts come to your arena to watch the other team, the visiting team. That's the only thing. No one will ever credential an advanced scout. Hey, come sit next to our bench and get our calls. But they'll sit you everywhere else. Now, here's the crazy part. Because every one of these teams has a guy who's doing this, what these scouts will often do is say, hey, Charlotte, are you in Sacramento right now watching Kings Warriors? Like, yeah. Hey, can you get me the Warriors calls and I'll give you the Pacers calls? Because I know you guys play the Pacers coming up soon. And so this is, when I say this is like a easily transferable thing, it's not proprietary in any way. It's not like the way my advanced scout does it is so much better than the way they do it over there, over here. It is literally just who's doing the data entry, the legwork of sitting there, getting the calls, and from there, moving on. So when you say, hey, they got an advanced scouting report on the Pacers, an opponent scouting report, okay, so, like, you think there's, like, incredible details there about Tyrese Halliburton pick and rolls that only the Knicks have? No. This stuff is readily shared all around. So is it stealing or whatever? I mean, in theory, yes. But materially, what does it mean? It's like taking pennies out of the give a penny, take a penny. If I grab like 20 cents out of that, it's egregious, but materially, it doesn't change anything, right?
Well, it just seems to me a little bit like they're saying what you're saying people do organically, which is like, hey, you give me these scouting reports, I'll give you these scouting reports. But they're sort of saying that what this guy stole was sort of what everybody does already. Am I wrong in that? Or
yeah, I mean, again, maybe theirs has a little bit extra detail in the personnel portions. But again, these things they're not unique in any way, I guess is the way I would say. Yeah. Maybe they're not duplicates of someone else's work, but they're not unique in any way. We always talk about in the NBA, there's no secrets. It's not like football where it's like, oh my God, they ran a spider twist banana and we didn't see it coming. Like, it's like we know exactly what play you're running. We know what call. We know who's going to get the ball. We know who's going to screen for him. The hard part isn't in knowing what the play is. The hard part is like stopping the guy who's doing it, right? I can give you the entire play calls for the Lakers, like, you still got to stop LeBron. It's not like, oh, yeah, now I know. It's so much easier to guard him.
So I guess I have two questions then. So what would the Knicks employee gain from giving this to the Raptors, and what do the Knicks hope to gain by suing them?
So Knicks employee is now working for the Raptors. He gave his notice in July, and he starts, in August to go work for the Raptors. Oftentimes, coaches, when they have new guys coming in, particularly guys who are video guys, whatever, they say, hey, can you get me every single such and such? Can you get me this information on this and that? And the idea is like the guy's going to sit there and cut the stuff, but that's just, the work has already been done. Why would I do that when I can just grab it and just start from there? And that brings me to the second part, Synergy. So Synergy is just software that, if not every team in the league has, damn near like 28 or 29 of them. It's a software site where you log in and they code every single play in every single NBA game. And they break it down in the most basic things. Post up, ISO, pick and roll ball handler, pick and roll man, cuts, spot up, maybe a couple more that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. And the idea here is that these very generic actions are things that people will often want to find out. I want to see every Tyrese Halliburton pick and roll. I want to see every Buddy Hield spot up action. And when you click on that, it gives you a playlist immediately within seconds of all the videos of every single one of these things that's been coded by Synergy. Again, everyone has access to it. So if you, Charlotte, ask me, hey, can you give me every Miles Turner post up? I'm not going to go pull 82 games of Indiana and watch them. Oh, he posted up again. I'm just going to go into Synergy and hit export and send you that file.
Right.
It's proprietary in the sense that it's a software subscription that the team subscribe to. But if everyone has a subscription, Charlotte, then who cares? Again, is it technically by letter of the law wrong? I'm not a lawyer, but I guess so. But materially, does this make a difference? It does not. It does not give anyone an advantage or a leg up or anything. And so all of this, to me, screams much ado about nothing.
Right. It seems just vindictive for the case of, for the sake of being vindictive, or like, you did something to us. And also, this guy left. Maybe it's based on some, I'm speculating here completely, but like some degree of resentment for being like, well, you left us, screw you, you took stuff with you. I don't know. Theoretically,
they could have stopped them from leaving. But again, the crazy thing is, every year, every offseason, there are employees in the NBA who switch teams. Every year, people are taking like, if I'm getting Synergy edits, I mean, it's literally it's nothing. It's something he could definitely have waited till he got to Toronto to download over there. It's just, all right, well, now that's 2 weeks or whatever of lead time that I don't have. As opposed to if I just download it here and send it to myself and then get started working on it. So it's so silly. And the thing I point to is every year, employees switch from team to team. Every year, people are doing this sort of stuff. We never hear any complaints about it because everyone understands it's not that big of a deal. Now, if he had taken the Knicks playbook, the Knicks personnel scouting reports, or the Knicks scouting reports of collegiate prospects or international prospects, that's a different story. Now you're getting into this is stuff that is proprietary and in-house. Or if the Knicks somehow, when scouting the Pacers, had some advanced metrics that they themselves measured. Meaning, I'll give you a very simple, silly example. When I worked for the Suns, we used to track every time the ball was in the paint. We call it paint touches. Whether it was in the paint because of a dribble penetration, whether it was in there because of a post-up, was in there because someone passed to someone who was cutting. Every time the ball was in the paint, we tracked it. And we tracked it from game to game, quarter to quarter, and we tracked our offense and, our offensive efficiency, basically, when the ball was in the paint, regardless of where the shot came from, it was a three-pointer, a mid-range shot, or a layup, and versus possessions where it wasn't in the paint. That's something that nobody's tracking on a league-wide basis. Teams are doing individually. So if you took that kind of information, then I get it. That is proprietary. That is in-house. That is material, right? But when you're talking about
stuff... But they didn't.
You talk about stuff that's readily available to everybody in the league, it's not that big of a deal.
So do you think that the lawsuit has any legs? Do you think that this is something that could actually succeed in court?
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know if the legal system will say, well, technically he did remove these files from a proprietary software that the Knicks are subscribed to and took them away from his employer. So yeah, you are guilty there. Maybe. I'm not a lawyer. I can't speak to that. But I know from the basketball side, it's not exactly this cardinal sin. It's not like, I'll give you a great example. In baseball, the cheatingest sport there was a scandal where one team hacked another team's database. And they had all their scouting reports. That's egregious. That's oh, wow, that's crazy. Shout out to baseball. You guys cheat like no other sport on earth, right?
But shout out to the Astros trash cans.
Yeah. This is, I mean, I don't even know if I would complain to the league, to be honest with you. Maybe that's why I didn't complain to the league, because it's not that material of a breach.
Well, if there's one thing we can count on, it's the Knicks being litigious. But please still let me into Madison Square Garden.
You're such a suck-up, man.
I'm just protecting myself and this show. I'm protecting your content.
I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. All I do is explain the news, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but I'm...
Yeah, that was well said.
Thanks.
Great dismount. I'm really excited to present this next segment. It has been revamped. It's been remixed. It went back into the lab and came out something completely different. You know it, you love it, you missed it. It's called Bold or Spicy. Fanfare, music, graphics, fire, all that.
Wow,
stuff.
wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow, wow,
whoa.
wow, wow.
What a budget we put into that. All right, so I'm going to read a statement to Charlotte, and Charlotte's going to rate it on a scale of 1 to how much, Charlotte? Is it 5 or 10?
It's the Scoville scale.
Not the Scoville scale.
Oh, okay.
Regardless.
It's 1 to 10.
All right, there you go. Sure. All right, Charlotte,
Okay,
are you
great.
ready?
Yep. Never been more ready in my whole life.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Wait, quick question.
Not ready.
Do we
Go
know
ahead.
how the game has been revamped, or are we just going for it?
Do we know how the what?
Game has been revamped.
Yes. Now the statements I have are all bold, and the statements you have are all spicy.
And my spicy prediction, they're predictions.
Let me read the cards. Let's just get
Okay.
this.
Yeah, no,
What the hell
for
is she
sure.
doing? Charlotte, the Suns should keep Deandre Ayton.
That doesn't seem terribly spicy to me. Like I would, sorry, bold. God,
Yeah.
these games are very confusing.
I don't think we vamped it enough.
I might give it a 2 or a 3 unless you think they should definitely. I don't know. I feel like that's like they thought about getting rid of him and then they didn't, and they got rid of Monty Williams instead. So he's there, and we'll see how it works. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that crazy to me.
I think it's very crazy. I give it a 9. You know why?
They shouldn't keep him?
No. They're
Okay.
hopelessly over the tax. They could trade him. He makes max or 25% of the cap or whatever. So they can get a lot of depth. Good players. They need depth. They don't need someone who underachieves. They need vets who know what to do, where to be, defensively, offensively, space the floor, know what their capabilities are, play within them, play up to them. That's what they need. They don't need a guy who's like they're waiting for to become a star. This is a win-now team. Get rid of the kid.
You know, every once in a while there's a basketball thing where I'm like, I don't know, I'm going to take a stab at this one. And then you're like, well, that's not right. So, you know, this is NBA.
Just give me the spicy one. I don't want to hear your excuses. See? That's how they should treat Deandre Ayton. No excuses. Spicy.
Okay. The Orlando Magic will win the play-in tournament.
The play-in tournament, or is this the in-season tournament? What are we talking about here, Hollywood? The in-season tournament. So great job, our producer. It's the in-season tournament. I'm going to give that a 7. Look, these kids just trying to figure out life, man. They just trying to, look, Anthony Black's out here. He's still discovering new relatives and stuff. You got Paolo Banchero. Is he Italian? Is he American? He doesn't know. We got Jonathan Isaac. God knows where he is right now. This team is still too young. They still need time to get it together. That's not going to happen in the first month of the season. Hell no. Give it an 8, actually. Take that 7 away. That's spicy.
Wow. Okay. Let's hear a bold.
All right. LeBron is no longer a top 10 player in the league. LeBron is no longer a top 10 player of the league. In other words, Charlotte Wilder, can you name 10 players that are better than LeBron right now?
No, that's a 10. That's the spiciest possible take. LeBron, sure, he's not a spring chicken anymore, but he's still one of the greatest in the league because he's one of the greatest of all time. I don't care. He can still block from like 50,000 feet away. Get out of here with that. I don't like it.
Is he an autumn chicken? Is he a winter chicken? What kind of chicken?
He's not a winter chicken.
Not a winter chicken. All right, so let me play this game just as a sidebar. I'm going to start naming players, and you tell me.
Okay.
Better or worse than LeBron? Kevin Durant.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're going to name players, and I have to say if they're a spring, summer, or winter
No, we're not doing chicken ratings. Better or worse than LeBron? Kevin Durant.
Worse.
All right, this game's over. Give me a spicy.
Steph Curry will not win another title in his career.
6.89. 6.93. Trending towards a 7, not quite 7. Winning championships is hard, man. I don't think people understand how hard it is. I think the Warriors make it look easy because they've won 4, but it's not easy, and especially not now when there's so many different teams that are championship caliber all across the league. In the Western Conference alone, you got to deal with Denver, you got to deal with the Lakers, you got to deal with the Suns, you got to deal with the Clippers if they're healthy, the Mavericks if they get their act together. It's just a lot. Sacramento's up and coming. It's just so many teams that you got to worry about. Memphis and not Houston, but you get my point, right? Like, there's so many teams. So I think overall in general, when you say someone's never going to win a championship, like that's less of a discussion about them and more a discussion about the very real obstacles that exist. Having said that, with those guys, you never know. So I just give it a 6.89. Yeah.
Well, I just think that this is the material that Steph Curry, the underdog, is going to take and turn into the reason that he's going to win another. So you're welcome, Steph.
Yeah, and turn it into a documentary that no one will like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how you agreed with that. All right. The Cavaliers are a better team than the Sixers with or without James Harden. And they're talking about the Sixers with or without James Harden, not the Cavaliers. Cavs are a better team than the Sixers. Doesn't matter if Harden is in uniform or not.
I don't think so. I think the Sixers are a better team than the Cavs.
Okay, so you got to give me a number here. How bold is the statement?
I mean, the Sixers are imploding, so I'm going to give it a 6 because also,
the question is with or without Harden. Without Harden is
8, 9. I don't know. Tell me the answer
No,
then.
but you're like, oh, I don't think so at all. Sixers are better than them. And then you said 6? Oh, meekly. Get out. What? I know we're talking about Philly, but you ain't got to be Meek Mill with it.
Oh, God. This game stresses me out. Booth. Are you ready for your last stupid, spicy take?
Sure.
Chris Middleton will be in Milwaukee longer than Giannis.
12 million. There's no chance.
That's on the Scoville scale.
That's on the Scoville. That's a ghost pepper right there. Hell no. No way. If they start to dismantle things, Chris Middleton's going to be one of the first guys to go because his contract, the new contract that he signed, makes him a lot more cost-efficient, cost-effective. They're going to fight tooth and nail, or whatever, however the tooth, claw, nail, claw, tooth and nail, whatever. Whatever body parts they're going to fight. They're going to fight him to make sure that Giannis stays. And I think Giannis also has the built-in stupid Damian Lillard loyalty gene in him, the Kevin Garnett, like, I'm never leaving. Like, he's got a little bit of that in him, too. So that'll buy them some time, much like it bought Damian Lillard time. This is like asking me 3 years ago who's going to be a Blazer longer, Damian Lillard or C.J. McCollum. It's like, well, C.J. has the affordable deal that's easy to move. Also, Damian Lillard was like, I'm never going to leave here. And so it is what it is.
Is Dame in Miami yet? Has he gotten there?
I don't know. What is it, October? Where are we in the calendar?
We don't know. There's actually no way of knowing.
We filmed this actually, the final slab and ended. You think Jimmy Butler is going to do it? Is he going to mount this amazing comeback? I don't know.
Who's going to be Finals MVP? All right, we'll never know.
I think that's going to do it for Bold or Spicy, the revamped remix edition. Still tastes like though.
Stresses me out. I want Nick City Dancers merch.
I think they used to have that.
How do they not have it anymore? That's such a layup.
Is it?
Well, maybe not. I'd buy.
It's like a layup from half court, like.
Yeah, a layup from half court for one person.
And then you buy the one shirt and you're like, I'm good now.
Yeah, I'm like, I got it.
It's not like you're doing like my Star Wars t-shirt collection of just Nick City Dancer merch.
But now that you say it, okay, I want a piece of merch from every NBA dance team. That's going to be my goal. And if they don't have it, I'm going to make it for myself.
Speak it into existence. I actually know the woman who created the Nick City Dancers. And yeah, her name.
Can I talk to her? Can I go hang out with them? I should go hang out with them.
She doesn't work there anymore. I think when I was there, she had just went to the Nets. Because like that was a thing. Like everyone who worked in the industry, you wanted to work for the Knicks, you want to work for Madison Square Garden, simply because at some point the Nets were going to come and say, here's a lot more money to do the same thing. And so she got that same opportunity. I don't know if she's still there, though, with the Nets or not.
Well, I'll hang out with any dance
team. You know what?
team.
Let me say,
that'd be a fun segment. Charlotte tries to dance.
Oh, my God. If you... Kooks, can we do that? Can we have, like... Thomas follow her? Yeah, just to different arenas, and she's got to try out.